If the Ten Commandments is not a word of God, or it's not like an advisory coming from God, fine. Let us know that that's what you think. But then again, in your own common sense, that you want to advise the people that actually what is there, in your own sense, you can see that it is something that if you practice in your own life, it is good. Because there are so many things in this book. If it wasn't written, and I have to use my common sense to I end up doing that, I feel that it will be good for me. There are so many things also here which are garbage. It's not necessary because it's not applicable. It's not something that you can easily practice or you can put into practice. So we have to know that if the book has advice in so many ways, and we know that the advices are not most of the advices are not something which God or God should do or to tell us, that ultimate or some sort of a universal God will tell us, then you must know that as long as whatever it is, the side of the Spirit that has told people to do that is attempting in every way to sort of group a certain people and build them in a certain way according to whatever the Spirit is or whatever the Spirit wants to inspire them to be. Keep them away from certain society or have his own way of doing things. Because as long as the separation is clear, it's almost like whatever we think of God, God is divided now. God is, according to the book, if we go by the book, it's like right now, there is war there. In fact, it is also in the Bible that there has been a war in heaven, spiritual division. And that spiritual division is what is reflecting in our society today. It's just that when you go some part of where the Baal issue of which God came down in Genesis and Jehovah was telling the people that come, let's split these people apart and stop them from what they are doing. But deep down it's like there is a strong conflict among the gods. Everybody finding his place to be. His place that he will live. I know that the Bible will interpret it differently in so many terms in the Revelation side or in the story of Daniel, which reveals the vision of Daniel seeing things in the Revelation, where John also speaks of certain things which will happen where the church will split in all kinds of forms, and somehow it sort of revealed that the spirits are gaining grounds or to sort of ready to fight Armageddon. The Armageddon moment. That is what this is about. But no, I wouldn't want to go there yet. I don't want to think about that yet. What I see here is at the end of the day, the life that we have can be resolved in a peaceful way. It might be that bin Laden has been caught and killed, dead. Another vendetta has risen. He probably have got people who liked him, who loved him. So we can also sort of feel that, that's it. It's another end of another session of somebody who did something terrible to people and brought people to sorrows and all that. But that man did what he does because he just wanted to do it. Something has encouraged man, and in the books I've pointed a lot of it. I also know, and so many rumors, that on the other side of the Christians, which are the Christians in relation to the Islamic Muslims, the other side of the Muslims is Christians and other religious people, has been like in the forefront, and they were what we call the CIA and the British whatever intelligence and whatever all these things took some decisions. I don't know where it all began or where it started, but somebody always provokes somebody. Some things has happened which was not fair and does not balance. People do things in their interest. A country will go out there and do something in his interest. I go somewhere, I want to do something in my interest. Of course, in my interest. Do I care about what I'm doing, whether the rights that I'm exercising is good, is something which universally is accepted, or is something that my other party would want? No. Sometimes if we approach that we have in doing what we are doing, in that selfish state of approaching things, provoke things. And sometimes people go as far as a thief coming. It's like a thief coming to your home and stealing from you. And he had the audacity and the strength to sort of, tie you up or beat you up or sort of treat you very badly, even though he's there to steal your things, and he's not even afraid that you are around. You might see him, or you might, get he or she might be caught. And when he hear your presence, he wouldn't mind to sort of put you somewhere and confront you and let you sit down, even ask you to show him where the things are that he's here to pick it and go. Some people have that courage to do that. It's the same thing that you see. The courage in some people is unbelievable. Even though they are doing the wrong thing, they are so courageous in doing that, and it annoys, it upsets the other man that a fellow flesh and blood is acting that way. He might quietly go through it, but if he survives, or he doesn't survive, and his mate or some loved person out there survived, they have to plot to pay back what has happened. Because deep down, you have ended the life of somebody. People have got just one life to live, one good life, rich life to enjoy, and you take that life. It's better they pay back for that person. At least maybe that person living was so beneficial to them. It was been good, and you have ended that person's life. If a father, to me, especially my father, or who losing my father, has got so many defects, or let's say, should I use the word rightly? Let's say so many negative impacts on my life. Losing a father who was potentially very credible in every way of my life. He was someone who was the breadwinner, and a brave, and a man who was committed to do things and to establish a family that will sort of last as long as he might, and he put his life out there for his family, and to lose such a person, you can imagine, either by natural means or by forceful means, unwilling means, whichever way it is, somebody's life taken. It's a lot. It could be a lot to that person. Some people that they will not willingly want to see themselves drowned. And so that is the main reason why I wouldn't think that if a man is so terrible, and we use the means of trying to figure out what these people are and try to crack them and destroy them and kill them, it's a good approach, whichever way it is. But since it was happening in the name of a god or something, you can really have a clear mind that the men are trying to, because Laden was using godly ways of doing things. That's one thing which I'm trying to say there. No, if you take your initiative to do something, do it. But he had a book to back what he chose to do. In a sense of Obama and the rest of Americans and all the multinational, it is a normal approach that they feel that, okay, such a person in society we don't want. But what society is the West building? Are they really fair in their approach? Have they honestly become fair? They open the borders to some. Are they reaching out to the entire world to really help people as they have the ability to do it? No, they are selfish. The selfish things are before everybody knows that. And if I get adopted, I become selfish too. So the inhabitants, the people out there, you and I, don't realize this. I don't realize that. I don't realize it much, except that I have sat down and I'm thinking about it. But in practicality, I have no choice than to find ways to survive in such a situation, in such a world. But looking at the news and the things that are done behind the scenes and the things that comes out, you might be rumor, you might doubt it, whichever way it is, you can clearly see that if the world has moved on, and we're thinking of a unipolar world, or we're thinking of coming together, and we're thinking of religions coming together, or culturally come together, or whatever, politically coming together, where Americans are promoting what they believe as the democracy, whilst Russians were, campaigning for something else, socialist world and all that. You ask yourself, it comes with a price. It comes with some sort of decision making. And those decisions and those sacrifices and those lives were taken, and so many animosity and great deal of vendetta has generated out of it. And all these things, there have been a lot of big betrayals. Society is in chaos. People mostly do this because of what they believed. And as I said, some point in time, it was all generated strongly in a few generations, maybe back from now. It was more a religious rule